Hello and welcome back to Assetto Corsa, and welcome to the Nordschleife Challenge, or whatever I've called it, the Green Hell Challenge, whatever it is. Essentially, I'm going to be taking out as many cars as I can, a single car per video, around the Nordschleife, and just seeing what kind of lap times I can do. Now, this is something that I've been doing for many years off camera, but I thought, you know what, it's probably a good idea to try this on camera just to see what sort of lap times I'm getting and what sort of things I can do on camera, and you guys can see me trying to do these various different taking various different cars around on this one single challenge. Now, I think Jimmy Broadbent does this for a number of cars, but he does it for a wide variety of different cars, even dump trucks and buses and all sorts of things like that. I'm going to stick to more road cars and perhaps some race cars. I'm going to avoid perhaps the Formula 1 cars for now. Maybe later on I'll do Formula 1 cars, but for the most part I want road cars and GT cars that I have in Assetto Corsa. So the way this is going to work is I will probably do 1 or 2 laps on camera for you to see, but before that I will do a couple of laps of practice that will be available on Patreon. That's where you'll probably see me talking about a little bit more about the finer things about the car as I'm coming across them. But then once you see the next part of this video, you will see that I've got some practice in the car and I'm going a decent speed, so that every challenge I have is enjoyable and it isn't me just trying to learn the car. I have some idea as to what the car can do to ensure that I can get the maximum or close to the maximum that I can out of the car. I think that's about everything. So the first car we're taking a look at is going to be this. This is the Fiat 500 Abarth, or the Abarth 500. 135 brake horsepower, I believe. 1.4 litre turbocharged engine. It's a small car. It is a very, very small car, but 135 horsepower, 133, brake horsepower. It is not bad, but it does need to be revved up quite a bit, 5,500 RPM, and you've got about 152 foot-pounds of torque, and that's a little bit lower down. So I'm going to be looking to keep things within maybe the 3,000 RPM range, and then pushing beyond that. That way I should get the maximum out of this car. So let's give it a go. Let's get some practice and then go for the actual lap. Okay, I've done this is coming up to the end of my second practice lap. I've had some spins, I've had some offs, I've been in the gravel a few times, I've stopped a couple of times on tracks just so that the lap doesn't really count the way it has. So we're currently at 9:35. That is certainly not where we're going to be. ABS is off, traction control is off, as you can see there. It's definitely off, you can see that, and I am on street tyres. What could possibly go wrong? Right, let's begin the first of 2 laps. So 9:57.19 is what we have there, but let's try the first of 2 laps. So out of the first corner, going down into the valley. I've already noticed that this car is severely lacking in grip. And when I mean severely lacking in grip, I mean genuinely a severe lack of grip. I know that, there you go, you can just see it right there. The car does not want to turn. It does not. It's very, very agile, and one thing that I have noticed, I say it does not want to turn, actually it just wants to over-rotate. One thing that I have noticed about this car is that as soon as you're on the brakes, the rear end is so loose that it's very difficult to control, to actually keep control of the back of the car. So you've got to get on the brakes, be sure of what you're doing, and then make sure that you're off the brakes as quickly as you can, just so that you've got some stability on the rear end. And on top of that, of course, being front wheel drive, you've got to ensure that you've got enough braking grip and driving grip and turning grip and all that kind of stuff. So it's not just under braking that you've got to be aware. Front wheel drive, street tyres, bad combination. Oops. So far it's been an okay lap. Trying to make as much use of the road as I can in the little time that I've got to learn this car. As I said, the street tyres make it driving it very interesting, but I've done that intentionally. And the reason I've done it is because you would not be putting semi-slicks on this. And there you go. You can just see how the car wants to just steer away from you. Avoid this curb. Definitely avoid that curb because it just throws you out. You're okay with touching that curb on the left hand side, but the curb on the right hand side you really want to avoid. Down here as well, the moment I hit the brakes you're probably going to see the car start sliding. I'm hoping it doesn't, but you might see it just start to slide, and you've really got to keep it in. Twice, both laps, in a moment from now. Not this right-hander, not the next right-hander, but I think 2 right-handers from here. The car has done nothing but slide out every single time. It's been interesting. It's not slid to a spin. So this one here coming up, there it goes again. And then coming into this as well, because you're turning and braking, it's very difficult to keep the car from not wanting to slide out or spin out, should I say, with how loose the rear end gets, because it's a very light car. I think it weighs 1,120 kilos, something like that. Incredibly light vehicle. Keep it in 3rd gear here. 2nd gear is just slightly too short, and 4th gear is just not good enough here. So 3rd is the best one to have there. But it is a light vehicle. When you slam on the brakes, it's got strong brakes, and it does pitch the car forward, and you lose pretty much everything at the back of the car. You have literally, and I do literally mean 0 grip at the back of the car under hard braking. When you start turning it, the back wheel's just like, yeah, no, you wanted grip? Sorry, none of that. I think with semi-slicks it would be better. Up here, 4th gear only. You cannot get to 5th. This car has a top speed of 127 miles per hour. Unfortunately, you cannot get to that top speed over here, and shifting out of 4th actually leads to you slowing down below 100 miles per hour. So you need to be aware of that. However, you do just want to slow down a little bit out of here. That might have just been a tad too slow, but you probably want about 94 miles per hour out of there. Again, just slightly off the accelerator, back on again to ensure that you've got that turning, and then we're slowing down. Right here, I like straight lining this one. Generally, that's what I've done for a long time. Maybe it's not the fastest line through, but it is a line that I tend to like. It gives me a chance to brake just that little bit later. And then into the carousel. Always like the carousel. Important notes about the carousel. I'm sure anybody who's driven on the Nordschleife or seen videos of people driving on the Nordschleife, you either stay in the banking or you stay up top. You do not try to switch between at any point. It will go wrong, and it's the slowest way through. At the top is safe. There you go. That's what I mean about the car. Just that wasn't even really under hard braking. That was just coming off the accelerator, and the car just went, yeah, okay. Front wheels give you the turn. Rear wheels, no grip. Right, I think I can cut slightly here. Yep, cut slightly here. Try come on, stay on course. There you go. So the problem with this car I've found is it's not the fact that the car's fast. it is not. It's slow. That's 133 or I think 133 bhp. It is not quick at all. It is pretty slow. The problem with the car is the lack of grip is the challenge, and I think it's great. I think it's great to have that sort of challenge with a vehicle like this. Here we go. So the speed is not a problem. Getting braking points right and things like that, that's easy enough to figure out. It's just making sure that when you are on the brakes, the car does not just throw itself sideways just purely because it's run out of rubber, or it's just run out. Its grip circle's gone. There we go. It's doing a decent lap right now. Again, it's twitchy around here, very twitchy. I like fourth gear here and then downshifting into third to bring it in. There you go. You can see that. Look at that understeer. Just on the brakes, car doesn't want to turn, and you're just going nowhere. And that's easily lost a second around there. Not that a second's going to matter as such, because you know we're driving these cars not really to race them in the tenths of a second. These cars are going to be different by seconds. Pretty much flat through this once you get the line right, and now it's just down the street. So as I said, 127 miles per hour top speed, 5 gears. It's not going to reach 127, but let's see how fast we can get it. 122, 123 might be nice. That's what I managed to get on the first practice lap I did. I'm not sure I got that on the second practice lap because I did stop, so we didn't have the run-up coming out. But we're looking at, what's that, 8 minutes 30 so far. Coming up, probably looking, 20 seconds probably will not get to the end, maybe 9 minutes 15? Maybe 9 minutes 15 might be reasonable. Here we go, 126, 126. And you can keep it flat through here, and then you just ease off here and you hit the brakes, and you really have to get on the brakes earlier than you think. 9 minutes 8.53. Let's see if we can improve on that a little bit on this next lap. I say improve on that, so we've already lost almost 0.2 of a second. Oh, what am I playing at? There we go. A little bit more on the throttle, just a little bit more aggressive through these corners now. Brake a little bit earlier here. Just wait a moment to get back on the throttle. It's just that little bit of a wait that you need to have in this car. And if you're just that little bit more patient, you can just about manage it. If you were to get on straight away, then it doesn't have enough grip to get around the corner, and then you're struggling. Obviously, we've lost some of the time now explaining about all this grip and the struggle, but let's see if we can make some of that back. So far, we're roughly even. There we go. There's a gain in time. So just off the accelerator, let the car turn in, let it grip up, and then back on. Into fifth. Quite nice. It is a small car. This is a very, very small car. Did that again, didn't I? Right, let's see if third gear will handle. Third gear handles that rather nicely. I'm not sure if it was any faster. I do not think it was, but it still handled that nicely. One less gear change to make. It's fine. It stays within the range of torque. Now, this... Be careful up the top of this. Again, that was a little bit more composed, which I like. short shift to third, still within the torque range, just to make sure that you're not doing too much around one corner. This is where I think I can gain some time. And indeed I am gaining time here. There you go. Understeer, as you would expect from a front wheel drive car. And here comes another corner where I know I can gain time, provided the car does not slide out on me, and it is sliding immediately. It's okay though. This corner I know I can gain time as well. Okay, lost time on entry, gain time on exit. Sort of the whole concept of slow in, fast out, I guess. Let's try and meet an apex here, if we can. Again, understeer just catches the car out. Same thing here as well. Just the moment you go on the throttle, the car just pulls outwards. But that being said, this car is very interesting to drive because it's just small, it's light, it's fun. That's the idea of the car, I think. It's not designed to go super fast. It's just designed to be thrown around, and it isn't too difficult. No traction control, no ABS. It is not too difficult to throw around. So I think for 133 bhp off a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and it's on 16-inch wheels. I think what's the size of the tyres? 195s, I think. 195 tyres. It does not have the grip, and yet it still gives you some of that playful experience, and I like that because you can feel the car on the edge at lower speeds, which I think is important. Right, let's try and get just a little bit more speed through that corner. I think I managed to get just a couple of miles per hour more through there, and let's try and keep this flat. No, doesn't want it. I already saw that going wide, and again. Oh, that, you just heard that bog down slightly. Into the carousel. I think my braking point was fairly okay into the carousel, so I'm going to pretty much stick to the same braking points, as you can see. Try and carry a little bit more speed through the carousel this time. I think I carried just a tiny amount more. Through here I think we can be flat quite easily, as long as we do not touch that curb. Careful on that one tends to be slippery. That dark green patch does tend to be slippery. Slower through here than we were before, but if I can hold third, there we go. Oh, come on, there we go, that's better. Do want third up here, that's important. I like that section where the paving sticks out a little bit more, or goes in a little bit more. That is where I like to aim the car as I come off the previous corner. I know it's a blind one and you cannot really do that, but that's where I try to aim the car as I'm exiting, because I think that's a nice section. It's a good marker for me. That was a bad. So clearly I'm not setting the world records alight here with this kind of car, and I think this is the first time I've ever driven it on the Nordschleife. Oh, that was wide. First time I've ever driven this car on the Nordschleife, as far as I can remember. I do not think I've ever done this before. So it's an interesting combo. And I do like these little cars. I think just general road cars take on the Nordschleife is always nice. Right, let's try and get this a little bit better this time. So, there we go. Just that little bit more grip, and look how much time. Look at that delta change as we do this. We're almost up to 4 seconds there, just because we managed to not slide out on that last one. Right, can we go flat through all of this? That's the plan. Come on. There we go, right to the edge. 4.34. I think that is a reasonable lap time that we're going to get. I was hoping to get it under the 9 minutes, but I'm not sure if that's going to be possible. Somehow I've got to pull out another 4 seconds. That is going to be difficult. Let's see what we can do. I'd like to see how this car would compare to something like maybe a Mazda MX-5 or a Toyota AE86, not the GT86, obviously that has a lot more power than this. This is heavier, but I think it would just outclass this. Actually, I suppose an MX-5 probably would as well. Maybe an AE86. That would be interesting. Keep it flat, and then on the brakes. Whoa. Oh, that was close. That's what the lack of traction control does. 903.59, there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more videos on Assetto Corsa. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Don't forget to support me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/ECGadget. Your support will be massively appreciated, and you will get to see the additional practice laps that I did, and some of the talking that I did through there, and some of the spins and all of that kind of stuff. Also, you can find me on social media at ECGadgetLB for both Twitter and Instagram. That is all from me, and leave a comment letting me know what cars you would like to see, and I'll try and get as many of those done first, and I think that is going to be really interesting. But for now, I think I'm going to go practice in a different car, and I will see you next time on this Nordschleife challenge in Assetto Corsa.